Hey, everybody, it's time for the Picks and Parlays Power Hour. I'm your host, Allie Burns, and we are about to get this party started with 2 college football plays and 4 NFL plays for this upcoming weekend. But before we get going, I got to remind everyone about the KnowHouseAdvantage.com. This is a really, really cool site, all right? This is for my fantasy players out there, fantasy football, baseball, hockey, whatever it is you dig in the fantasy realm. Check out KnowHouseAdvantage.com and use our promo code PANDP. That's right, P&P. They're going to match your first deposit up to $50 when you use our promo over at KnowHouseAdvantage.com. All right, up first, I've got Ross Benjamin in the house here to talk some college football. What's up, Ross?
It's all good, Ellie. We got some college football bowl specials up at the site, and just remind you folks, been selective to start 2-0 in this college football bowl season so far, including last Saturday's 10-star top play on Oregon State, who just crushed the Florida Gators.
I was at that game. It was awesome. I had a suite and it was killer, and I ate a lot of free food, and Lenny regrets that he said no to my invitation. Basically, let's just wrap that up there. But yes, they did smash. And speaking of the bowl games, we've got a promo over at picksandparlays.net. Any 2 handicappers on the site, remember Ross is 2-0. You get every single one of their bowl games for $299. You got to go to picksandparlays.net/bowl pass to get it. Also, use our promo code NFL. It's going to save you 20% off that $299. Just saying. Okay, Thursday, we've got the Armed Forces Bowl. It's going to be Baylor -4 versus the Air Force. Total on this one's a 43. How are we going to play it, Ross?
Well, this line opened at 7. It's down to 4 now. That's not a money move, though, Ellie. This is related to opt-outs for the NFL draft and players opting to enter themselves into the transfer portal, something we have to deal with at this time of year, and something a lot of colleges have to deal with at this time of year, but not military academies. They're not allowed. They are allowed to transfer, but they can't bring in transfer portals. And certainly there's never been a military academy player that's opted out early for the NFL draft. I'm sorry?
So there's that.
Yeah. All right. So, again, this is one of those games. If it was the last game of the regular season and Baylor was only -4, I would jump all over Baylor. But, that's delusional, because that would have never happened, because they would have been at full strength at that particular moment in time. And that's not the case here. Other than that, you look at the way Baylor finished the season. They dropped their last 3. Air Force has won their last 4. And, Ellie, quite simply put, I've mentioned this time and time again, when it comes to college football bowl handicapping, sometimes, especially in these minor bowl games, it comes down to who wants to be there more, who's more hungrier. And unequivocally, Air Force is the team that's more hungrier and wants to be there. Baylor, a Power 5 conference team, and had higher aspirations than facing a group of 5 opponent, namely a military academy to boot. So I just think Air Force, it's a great spot for them. I'm going to take the Air Force Falcons plus the 4 over the Baylor Bears.
I like it. I love a happy to be there school. And the thing with all the service academies, you're going to get 60 minutes of football out of that team. They're not going to show up and half-ass anything. They're going for it here. I like it. Give me some points with Air Force. That's the way we're going to play this. Everyone, don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. The Power Hour's on every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so our Thursday night football matchup. Super excited about this one. Jags are at the Jets. Jets are -1 coming off that loss to the Lions. Total on this one is a 38. But before we get to it, let me remind everybody, Ross Benjamin is 2-0 in the bowl game so far. And we've got a promo at the site. Any 2 handicappers on the site, you get every single one of their bowl games for only $299. Go to picksandparlays.net/bowl pass, and then use our promo code NFL and save 20% off that $299. All right, Ross, lay it on me. Jags at the Jets, Jets -1. What do we got?
Well, this game is either a pick 'em or -1, so I'm going to use the money line here in this contest. Look, the Jets have lost 3 in a row. They're now 7-7, and they're on the outside looking in terms of the playoff picture. But you know what? Their last 5 losses have all been by 1 score or less, 8 points or less to be specific. And it's not like they've been non-competitive. They've shot themselves in the foot on a couple occasions. Look, during their last 3 games, defensively, they've been very good. They held Minnesota and Buffalo in road games. They held those 2 explosive offenses to less than 300 yards. And last week, they lost 20-17 to the Detroit Lennies, who are red hot right now. The silver lining, the Jets offense has rang up 298 yards a game passing over the last 4. This is a Jags defense over their last 5 games has allowed 30 points per game and 419.8 yards per contest. So it's not like they're playing great defense. They have won their last 2. Last week, that walk-off win against Dallas, 40-34. The week before, they win over a ice-cold Tennessee team. This Jacksonville team has not won 3 games straight all season long. As a matter of fact, they're only in the midst of their second 2-game win streak of the season. And here's the other thing. Since 2020, in true road games, not games played on a neutral field, but true road games, Jacksonville is 2-21 straight up. And if they're playing a non-division opponent in true road games during that course of time, they go down to 1-14 straight up. And here they are in almost a pick'em game. I think the Jets are much better than their record indicates. I'm not so sure the Jags are, even though they've played okay lately. I'm going to lay the -115 on the money line with the New York Jets to come up big here over the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I anticipate, Ellie, that the money will be on Jacksonville here because the general public's going to look at one team on a 3-game losing streak and the other team winning their last 2. So I'm going with the Jets.
I like the play. That's the way I would roll with this one as well. So, I didn't like the Jets against the Lions, but I definitely thought it would be a football contest. I think they are the more talented team. They've got the home field advantage. And like you said, the public perception on this one is really kind of what's going to fuel me the most to take the Jets on Thursday. All right, everyone, don't forget, like and subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. Power Hours on every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Okay, one more NFL. Ross Benjamin is in the top 10 over at picksandparlays.net for NFL picks this season. We're going to talk Bucks -6 at the Cardinals. The total on this one's 41. And before we get to the free pick, let me let you know about our bowl pass. That's any 2 handicappers on our site. Ross Benjamin is 2-0 in bowl games this season so far. Only $299, and you can use your promo code NFL and save 20% off that $299. You just got to go to picksandparlays.net/bowl pass. Okay, Ross, lay it on me. Bucks at the Cards. What are we going to do here?
2 anemic offenses right now. Tampa Bay in road and neutral site games this year has gone 6-1 to the under with a combined average of just 33.3 points per game being scored. As a matter of fact, the Bucks have been a major contributor to those low-scoring games, and in those 7 contests, they averaged a mere 15 points per game. And in their last 4 games overall, the Tampa Bay Bucks, with Tom Brady and those and Godwin and Mike Evans and all those stellar players on the outside, they're averaging just 16 points per game, and they've turned the ball over 9 times in their last 3 games. In addition to the fact that it's well publicized, and it's worth mentioning again, the Bucs running game is non-existent. As a matter of fact, they've rushed for less than 100 yards in 13 of 14 games this season. Ellie, it's tough to win on a consistent basis when that occurs. Now, they get a little bit of a break here because they're playing an Arizona team that lost their starting quarterback a couple weeks ago to the season. Kyler Murray out for the year. And then their backup, Colt McCoy, who had played, he held himself up pretty well, but he got knocked out of the game last week with a concussion. He's listed as questionable. I highly doubt he's going to play, Ellie, only because this was a major concern of his was concussions, and a reason why he was temporarily on the shelf during the offseason and thought to be retired. So I just don't see him being in a hurry to come back. especially when he's on the cusp of retirement. And I just think this is going to be a low-scoring game. And Arizona's been no bargain either. Their last 4 games offensively, 16 points per game. Their defense, when you look at the amount of points they've given up over the last 3, it's a bit deceiving because Arizona's turned the ball over 7 times in those 3 games. It's created a few short fields for the opposition, and they've only allowed 309 yards per game in those contests, and that's solid defense. I think this is going to be a very boring, low-scoring affair, Ellie. I like this game to go under 41.
All right, under the try. I remember when Colt McCoy got smeared by Alabama back when he played for Texas in the national championship
first
game.
Quarter,
I remember that.
Yeah, first quarter of that national championship.
One of the first plays of the game. Boom, you're done here. Alabama wins, just like that.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going under 41 when the Bucs take on the Cardinals. On Sunday. Guys, don't forget, like and subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We're on every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern with your Picks and Parlays Power Hour. Thank you so much, Ross Benjamin. We'll see you next week.
Merry Christmas, Ellie. Merry Christmas to the viewers. Merry Christmas to the Detroit Lenny and everybody else at Picks and Parlays.
All right. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you. All right. Up next from the Insiders Room, I've got Nick Parsons coming on in to give us the goods. What's up, Nick? You staying warm out there in Canada?
No, it's freezing here. There was a huge dump of snow. I was out shoveling everything. I tripped down the back steps and smashed my face on ice in a tree, and so hence the glasses here today. That's really horrible, but you know what? The picks are going really great now, Allie.
Yes, they are. So let's start this off with the Independence Bowl. This one's on Friday. We've got Louisiana versus my Texans, Houston Cougars. One is okay to promote. The other one, you kind of say it under your breath a little bit more. Houston Cougars, the good one. Before we get to the free pick, though, let me remind you guys about our Bowl Pass, all right? Any 2 handicappers on the site, you get every single one of their bowl picks for only $299. You got to go to picksandparlays.net/bowl pass. Nick, how have you been doing in the bowl game so far?
I am 2-2 so far, but I'm coming off a win yesterday with Marshall. And so, yeah, definitely looking forward to keeping the good times rolling. But looking back, I've won 10 of the last 12 weeks in college football. Been playing with house money in both college football and the NFL. So, yeah, definitely loving the gridiron action here. And, yeah, for this Independence Bowl, both teams definitely underwhelmed this year. Louisiana Lafayette finished 6-6. Houston was 7-5. Now, Houston was 12-2 the year before.
Yeah.
Now, Houston is playing its 3rd straight bowl game. It's looking for its 2nd straight victory after narrowly beating Auburn 17-13 in the Birmingham Bowl last year. The offense is really good. It finished averaging 37.2 points per game. That ranked 14th. The defense was pretty good, too. It allowed 6.5 yards per play versus FBS opponents, and that ranked 16th overall. So, even despite putting up those decent numbers, the Cougars definitely underwhelmed overall after last season's great campaign. Now, Louisiana, it's no stranger to bowl games. It's 7-2 in its last 9 bowl games. Last year, the Cajuns beat Marshall 36-21 in the New Orleans Bowl. Louisiana actually does have the better overall defense statistically this year. But for me, Allie, Houston's offense is going to be the difference maker here. These bowl games, they're definitely difficult. There's so many transfers now. There's coaching changes. Players are sitting out for various reasons. This isn't a game that I completely have circled or love or anything, but for the sake of this video play here, I feel the best way to approach this one is, just to look at these teams' strengths and weaknesses. And I just think that Houston's offense is just going to be too much. And so I'm going to suggest laying the points.
All right. I like to hear you say that. I love the Ragin' Cajuns. This is a team I follow and I really bet on a lot. They cover great for me, but I went to the University of Houston. So hands down, let's go Cougars. That's the way we're playing this one, minus the 7 points. Don't forget, guys, like and subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We're on every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Okay, let's move into the NFL. We've got my Houston Texans. They're at the Tennessee Titans, who, ironically enough, used to be the Houston Oilers. Full circle, people. Titans are -5. The total on this one is a 37. But before we get to the pick, let me remind everybody about our special promo over at picksandparlays.net/bowl pass. Any two cappers on our site for only $299. You get every single one of their bowl picks, so don't miss out. All right, let's talk Texans Titans. What do we got going on here?
Well, I like Houston again here. It's a double Houston shot here, and that may surprise some people, but Houston's been playing a little better than what its record would indicate of late. I mean, it's only 1-12. It lost last week 30-24 to Kansas City in overtime. They were 14.5-point underdogs, so the victory last weekend would have obviously been massive mental boost for the organization, but it was once again a case of close but no cigar for the Texans. So now here they are at Tennessee this weekend. Houston actually lost 17-10 as a 1-point dog at home to Tennessee back in October. And then on the other side of the field for Tennessee, obviously it's been a disappointing season for the Titans. They're going to finish under their projected win total for the year. But all of that said, they're still the number one position right now in the division. The AFC South is so weak, and so with the 7-7 record, they're still in the driver's seat. But Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars, they're right nipping on their heels. Jacksonville actually won the first matchup of the season between the teams. That was 36-22 in Week 14. And so they'll play their second and final game of the year in Jacksonville. Yeah, in the very last game of the year. So this is a big game for the Titans. And Houston, where's the motivation coming from here? The only motivation you can have is the spoiler. But you know what? I think that's going to be enough. The Titans, they're off the 17-14 loss at the Chargers as 3-point favorites. They only average 18.2 points per game. I mean, the Texans, they had the Chiefs on the ropes last weekend. Despite the loss, there was plenty of positives to take away from the setback. So I'm not going to predict an outright win, but I just think this is a few too many points. I think it's going to be a battle. I don't think the Texans go down easily. So that's my read on this one.
Yeah, I don't think the Texans go down easily either. And they've covered their last two games, which I like a lot. And like the 5.5 is the devil's spread. If you ever see the 5.5, you try to find that way to take the dog. So I'm taking the dog here. Tennessee hasn't covered. Well, they pushed their last game, and then they didn't cover 4 in a row. I want to say before that, they started off as a team I was betting on and cashing on, and then they lost me somewhere about 3-4 weeks ago. They just lost me. So I'm with you here. And it's not just because I'm from Houston. I want to take the points with the Texans +5 to be ruiners for the Tennessee Titans. Everyone, don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. The Picks and Parlays Power Hour is on every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Okay, we've got one more to go, and it's the Chargers at the Colts. Monday Night Football action. The Chargers are -4. The total's 46.5. But before we get to the free pick, I got to remind you guys about our holiday bowl pass. You pick any two handicappers on the whole site, and you're going to get every single one of their bowl games for only $299. Use the promo code NFL, and you can save yourself 20% on that $299. Just go to picksandparlays.net/bowl pass. All right, Nick Parsons, what do you got for me on Monday Night Football?
Well, this is kind of like what Ross was touching on there. He was talking about a bowl game, but just about teams that are more motivated than the others. And I think that this is the case. This is the case here this weekend with this game here on Monday night. The Colts, they're now 4-9-1 after their epic collapse in Minnesota there last weekend. And so I'm not sure if Jeff Saturday has any business being a head coach in the NFL, really. The Chargers, on the other hand, they're coming off a 17-14 win over Tennessee as 3-point dogs. And now that's back-to-back crucial victories for Justin Herbert and the Chargers. They're now 8-6. They're not going to win the division. The Chiefs are 11-3. But with 3 winnable games remaining, they're very much in the wild card hunt. Herbert, he was good. He finished 28 of 42 for 313 yards. Overall, LA is only averaging 22.3 points per game this season, though. But the Colts, they're only averaging 17.5. Matt Ryan has to be feeling pretty frustrated, obviously. He's now been on the wrong end of the Super Bowl's biggest comeback of all time and the NFL's regular season biggest comeback of all time. And so that then leads me, where is the motivation going to come for Indianapolis this weekend? They're done. I mean, the head coach is likely going to be fired, of course. They're probably going to have a new quarterback. They're coming off arguably the worst loss in the history of the NFL. They're not even playing a conference opponent this weekend. So this one is easy for me, just as Ross was saying. I like the more motivated side, and clearly that's the Chargers. So I'm going to recommend to lay the short points. I like LA in this one.
Yep, that's the way I would play it as well. It's basically just what you said. It's just the motivation. Who's got the fire? It stinks about Jeff Saturday because I like that guy.
Yeah.
I really like him a lot. I had high hopes for him, but sometimes it just doesn't work.
And he got that first win. And
yeah, I had him in that first win, but it's not the year. I don't want to blame it all on Jeff, but I mean, you're a big part of it. You're the head coach and stuff. So we'll see what happens next season. But for this season, we're going to roll with the Chargers minus the 4 points when they play the Colts at home on Monday Night Football. All right, Nick Parsons, thanks so much for joining us. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. We're on every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern right here on the Picks and Parlays Power Hour. Good luck, everyone.